If you're spending a lot of your money and time smoking weed and not spending that time chasing your dreams, alright, let me chill. But if you're really spending all your time and most of your money on smoking weed, you need to stop and you gotta get back to your path, back to your journey, back to chasing that dream you have, man. And let me tell you why, man. You know why. You smoking for what? And really think about for what. Because I'll tell you what, when I was smoking, there was a little span when I exited high school of like 3 to 4 months where I would smoke every single day. Literally every single day. I was working 5 days full time at a fast food restaurant, Carl's Jr. If you know, you know it. And it's pretty good. It's pretty expensive now, but it's good food. But I was working there full time, and then I started smoking weed with my friends. Every day after work, every day on my days off, we'd all just meet up, smoke weed, and go eat. Pretty much every single day. All my time and all my money went into that. And then as time went on, I was like, you know what? Let me just work 4 days now. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just work 3 days. I got to a point where I was working 3 days only, making no money, wasting all that money on food, and wasting all my time smoking weed. And the whole time, man, I was just super anxious. I was gaining weight. I was losing confidence. I was losing pretty much everything in my life that I knew I didn't want to lose. And then one day, it just hit me. I was in the car with my friend. He was driving. He did a freaking crazy maneuver. And then it just hit me. I was like, boom. I don't know what it was. I really don't know. But I will say this. After that experience, I had faith. You know what I mean? I really did. And it may sound funny to y'all, or it may sound, I don't know how it sounds. But after that experience, my life changed. And not right away, and not in the best way. But after that, next day, I stopped smoking weed. I started eating a little better. Well, really, I just stopped eating out. So then I started losing weight. I had quit my job there, and I got a job at the post office. And that job had me working freaking 11 days a week. You know what I mean? Like, I would work 11 days and then have 1 day off. And then I'd work 9, 1 day off kind of thing. And I'd be out there delivering mail, walking a whole bunch of overtime. And I was able to stack some money. I was able to do everything I couldn't do with weed. You get what I mean? And this is where you got to reflect on your own. If you're able to smoke weed and get all your things done, and you just like to smoke it, chill back and take a break, and then next day you get back to it how you're supposed to, then by all means, do what you're gonna do, you know what I mean? But if you have a similar story, similar experience to mine, then you gotta quit it, man. Because it is not doing anything for you. And once I quit it, I not only saved money, I felt better, and I did better. And of course, just changing your weed intake is not gonna change your whole life. It won't, because there's so many other things that you're probably fucking up on. There's so many other things that you need to change and grow and learn. But if you don't get rid of those vices, which for me was freaking weed, then you will not be able to take that step, that leap forward. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in a position where weed is holding you back, and a lot of people won't even like to admit it, and a lot of people like to say, man, I can quit it whenever, I can quit it right now, I can do this, I can do that. And some of y'all will be able to, some of y'all won't. It really depends on the person, it really depends on you. But if you know and you have that ambition, you have those dreams, those goals, and weed is only taking your time, money, and making you feel worse, then you have to let go of it in order to take that step forward. And it goes deeper than that. If by letting go of it, you lose your friends, You feel like you lost your group, your social life, whatever it may be. At first, it might suck, but in the long term, man, you don't need those people. Because if they're gonna freaking turn on you just because you want to better your life and stop smoking, that's crazy. But like, if you stop smoking, you talk to some of them still, and some of them are cool, and they're like, you know what, man, go do your business. That's how it should be, man. Like, if you stop smoking weed and you don't hang out with those friends as much, but you keep in contact regularly, not even regularly, but like from time to time, you know, they shouldn't look at you like, man, you changed. They should look at you as like, man, you go do what you gotta do, man. Congrats, do what you gotta do, and then y'all can be cool. You can even hang out with them. But if you're gonna hang out with them and it's gonna cause you to maybe jump back into those vices in your old ways, then you know what, be like, hey, respectfully, man, I'm still working on my stuff, so I can't really hang out with y'all right now because I might fall back into it. I'd be like, oh, cool, man, don't worry. Or they'll be like, you know what, man, we're not even gonna do that today. We're just gonna go here, here, here. You know what I'm saying? There's all these little things that go into it. But if they give you a hard time, or you know you can't control it, or they just try to push you back into the vices, then you gotta let go of them. You do gotta let go of them. And then you might feel like, man, now I got nobody, man, this, that, man, that. You ain't have nobody in the first place. If that's the way they're gonna be treating you, if that's the way they're gonna be acting, you ain't even have them in the first place. And you ain't really losing nothing at that point. Think about it like that. And think about this, you have so much to gain. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, all these different things. You're gonna be gaining that from letting go of all that. So there will be a sacrifice, and it will be hard. But it will be probably the most important thing you've done in your life, because it was for me. And I was fortunate enough that it wasn't a huge problem in my life. It was really a span of like 4 months every single day, and then it clicked on me. And part of it, I like to thank my parents, because they, ever since I was young, they'd always tell me, no drugs, don't drink, do good, work hard, all these different things. So I feel like that was kind of embedded in me. So when I was doing those activities, I knew I shouldn't be doing them. I always had that thought in the back of my mind. I always felt like I was like doing wrong. You know what I mean? And in a way, I'm thankful, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely thankful for my parents for that. But I think what really was important was for me to jump into those vices, and see it for myself, and really understand, like, you know what? My parents were right. This is not the way. And mostly because it was just a negative experience for me overall. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure, don't get me wrong, there were some fun nights. There were some nights where we were just chilling with the boys and just kicking back. Of course, man, those memories are cool. Don't get me wrong. But I had those ambitions, I had those goals, and weed was not taking me there. So I had to let go of that. I had to do that for myself. Because I have such high expectations for myself, which can be dangerous, but you gotta be patient. Patience is important too. And I had all these dreams, all these ambitions, that made it easy for me to quit in a way. Because I knew in order for me to reach that potential, I guess, there were sacrifices and steps I had to take. And for me, those were worth it. And for me, those changed my life in a way. So if you're in a similar spot, man, and you really want to achieve something, you really want to change the life of people around you, your own life, whatever your motivation is, do it for yourself and do that sacrifice. But weed will not get you there, especially if weed controls you. But how I said, if you're able to manage it, but man, you really gotta manage it though. You can't just say like, oh nah, bro, like it doesn't bother me that much, like it doesn't affect my life, like I still get my work done, I still do this, that. Man, you know if that's bullshit or not. I can't tell you. Nobody can really tell you. You know that for yourself. If you know that if you stop smoking weed, stop spending money on that, and lock in, and you're gonna do better, be better, then there's no controlling of it, man. Get rid of it and get that work done. But if you can't control it, or you do have that, man, I don't even know what to call it, but if you do have that, then by all means, do what you gotta do. But I knew for myself that I had to let it go, and by letting it go, I was able to propel myself forward much faster. And of course, there's other vices. Of course, there's other bumps on the road. Of course, there's other things you gotta deal with. But that's where I said that you still got all these other things to learn and grow from. But if you're trying to learn and grow while having vices, it's just making it harder on yourself. It really is. It really is. And let me tell you, man, especially because for me, it would get me anxious. It would make me overthink. It would make me look at the world in a freaking weird perspective. It would make me hate everything. It would make me question everything. It would make me like man, I would just start not to care. I literally lost all my emotional connection to literally everything pretty much. Because then I started getting in my head too much. I was like, man, all of this is what? Like, this is that. And I'm sure that's like people just, the way weed makes you think, I'm guessing. But like, I really started to believe that stuff. I cared about nothing. I focused on nothing. I guess I had no purpose, no drive, no nothing when I was smoking weed. It took everything from me. And then I really sat back one day and I was like, man, what's the point of hating everything? What's the point of judging everything, questioning everything? Of course, you have your values. Of course, you have your perspective on things and all that, and that's fine. But it was to the point where like I wouldn't even consider nothing. I wouldn't think nothing. I wouldn't be like, why is this actually important to some people? Or why is this actually cool for some people? All I would do is like, man, that's stupid. Man, that's dumb. That's a waste of time. That's this, that's that. And having that mentality is so freaking negative, draining, and useless. That doesn't mean you gotta like everything. Doesn't mean you gotta like respect. Not even respect. I guess respect always, right? But that doesn't mean you gotta like everything or agree with everything. But you also don't just gotta freaking hate the world. You know what I'm saying? And at that point in my life, I was literally hating everything. And it was so negative and so ugly. And that's not the kind of person that I wanted to be. So I changed that. And this change did not happen overnight, man. This was back in 2018 when I was smoking. Right now we're in 2025. And right now, in this point in my life, now I'm 20. I was 18 then. Now I'm 25. Oh, actually, no, I'm not 25 yet. Later this year I will be. But I'm 24 now. And throughout all those years, every year I grew and every year I lost progress. But that little small growth that I had stuck with me into the next year. And then year after year, in different aspects of my life, I got better and better. And of course, there was new challenges that presented themselves, hardships, whatever. But from those, I also learned. And I'm still learning now. And I even have some of the same problems I had back then. But I don't have the weed. I don't have those vices, which help me in different ways. But don't get me wrong, there's still so much shit you gotta deal with. And it's hard. But it's worth it. Because if I was still that same person I was back then, right now I would not be filming this. Right now I would not be in the position I'm in. Like, my girlfriend's out there walking around and like, it's just nice seeing her walking around. You know what I'm saying? I would not have none of this if I didn't change, man. And you might be like, man, that's not even a lie. Like, you don't have this, you don't have this. Yeah, I don't have all that. I don't have everything. I don't have all the cars, all the houses, all the different things. But what I do have, I really appreciate and I'm really grateful for. And all those other things, I'm going to get because I'm going to work for them. But I'm also happy with the progress I've made and the place I'm at right now. And I'm happy of it because I know that I'm still growing and I'm still learning and I have a lot of things to achieve and I will achieve them. But let go of those vices. For me, it was weed. For a lot of us, it's weed nowadays, especially. It almost seems like if you don't smoke weed, it's weird. If you don't drink, it's weird. But fuck all that, man. You got goals to achieve, and by letting go of this addiction, I guess at this point, it'll make it easier or better, then do that, man. Do that for the family. Do that for yourself. Take care.